Good morning. How is everyone today? Happy Saturday. It's December 16th, 2023. Yeah. And I'm glad you could all be here. Still a little groggy, I'm afraid to say, but that's okay. I'm here, and Benedict is doing well. He's sleeping, and it's going to be a big improvement to his overall health in a few days. All right, today we're going to discuss a perfect. What's the word? The word is evidence of the perfect life, I think, is what it is. So we're going to talk about the child of God and how a child can be a good example for how we should be. Let's begin with morning prayers. Before we do, I'm going to grab a water. Pardon me. In nomine Dei, Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of God, and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Trinitarian Theophany. Most holy and venerable Trinity, one God and three divine beings, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O God, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank God for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to the Trinitarian Theophany. O God, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, O God, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. And let us beg of God the graces which are necessary to us. O God, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, O God, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O God, Our Lady, O Holy Mother of God, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O my God, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended thee, my God, who art good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Chapter 41, a form of perfect life, the way of spiritual childhood. The way of spiritual childhood taught by Saint Teresa of Lisieux was highly praised on several occasions by Pope Benedict XV and Pope Pius XI, who often expressed his confidence in the providential mission of the saint for the spiritual formation of souls in our day, back then. The way of childhood, which she recommends to us, is explained by the innate qualities of the child. And I might add, not the kid. Okay? A kid is a baby goat. There is in this idea a deep intuition in perfect harmony with what theology teaches on sanctifying grace, the infused virtues, and the gifts of Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. By recalling the innate qualities of the child, the principal virtues of the child of God, and what distinguishes spiritual childhood from natural childhood, we shall find great light on the doctrine of grace. The innate qualities of the child. What are ordinarily the innate qualities of a child? In spite of his little defects, we find in a child, as a rule, simplicity and consciousness of his weakness, especially if he has been baptized and is being raised in a Catholic manner. The simplicity, or the absence of duplicity, of a child is wholly spontaneous. In him there is no labored refinement, no affectation. He generally says what he thinks and expresses what he desires without subterfuge, without fear of what people will say. As a rule, he does not pose. He shows himself as he is. Conscious of his weakness, for he can do nothing of himself. He depends in everything on his father and mother. Little spider's been bugging me this morning. Okay, where did I lose my? He depends in everything on his father and mother, from whom he should receive everything. This awareness of his weakness is the seed of humility, which leads him to practice the three theological virtues, often in a profoundly simple manner. At first, the child spontaneously believes what his parents tell him. Often they speak to him of God and teach him to pray. Innately, the child has confidence in his parents, who teach him to hope in God even before he knows the formula of the act of hope, which he will soon read in his catechism and recite morning and evening. Finally, with all his heart, the child loves his parents, to whom he owes everything. And if his father and mother are truly Catholic, they lift the lively affection of this young heart toward God, the Trinitarian Theophany, and especially Deum Matronam Nostrae. In this simplicity, this consciousness of his weakness, and this simple practice of the three theological virtues, there is the seed of the loftiest spiritual life. For this reason, when Deum Jesum Christum wished to teach his followers the importance of humility, setting a little child in the midst of them, he said, "Become as a little child, and if not, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven." I paraphrased that. I didn't have a chance to get my little highlighter out this morning. In recent years, we have realized the prediction of Pope Pius X, quote, "There will be saints among the children, called at an early age to frequent communion." And here we have the example of the children of Fatima. Later on, during the awkward age, the child often loses his simplicity, the consciousness of his weakness, and wishes to act prematurely like a man. He gives evidence of pride and duplicity, and if he delights in speaking of certain virtues, it is less of the theological virtues than of human virtues like fortitude and courage. which lend importance to his budding personality, and a certain prudence which he does not know how to distinguish from false prudence, and which, in his attempt to hide disorders in his life, may turn into deceit. The harsh experience of life then reminds him of his weakness. At times he meets with injustice, which shows him the value of a higher justice. He suffers from lies that are believed, thus discovering the value of uprightness. Finally, if he reflects, if he has not ceased to pray a little every day, he understands that without God he can do nothing. And the profound meaning of Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum becomes apparent to him. He repeats these prayers of his childhood, sometimes spending many minutes saying the Ave from the depths of his heart. He has again found the road of salvation. Okay, we're going to stop there. Tomorrow we'll talk about the principal virtues of the child of God. Oops. By the way, I will not tolerate demeaning comments. So if you decide, if you're watching and you decide to subscribe just to make a demeaning comment, it will be deleted. Deum vobiscum et quo corpo te, oremus. O God, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hancum maculatum hostium, quam ego indinius, famulus tuus offeditibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus, et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus, catalocorum vivis aquae defunctis ut mihi et idis proficietat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilita condidisi, et mirabilis reformaste da nobis pericus acre venimus tium, eis divinitatis esse consortes qui militatis nostre, fieri dignatis es patricips Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem saetaris tuum de peccantis clementium, ut consueto divina maestati tue, pro nostra totius mundi salute, cum odore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis, et in animo contrito suscipiam arate Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum in consueto tuo hodie, ut placet tibi Deum matronam nostre et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et benedicite blata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sancto nomine preparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas, ac oblationem quam tibi efferimus, a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostri et Papa Pete Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut iris proficiet ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et ili pro nobis intercedere, din inter in celis, quorum memoriam agimus in telis, Pedinum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meam ec vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tui, sed laudam et gloriam nomini sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei sursum corda habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te egit oculimitessimi Mater et Pater, Deum Materam Nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum Nostrae Subitis, rogamus ac petimus. Ut ecce leis et benedicas ex sanctam sacrificium miribata. In primis quae tibi fedimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodire, adonare et regere dineris tot orbiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum gatuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Bob Del Rey, for Robert Dosco, for Katie, Gage, Mark Jr., Clarette, and Casey, Neil and her lively, Maria Josephine Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce. We pray for Malachi Santa Croce, James Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, the Lineweber, Dosco, Nye, Tafour, Began, and Wolf families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron, and family. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sedevacantist Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, and any kind of abuse of the child, ritual, sexual, verbal, of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and to stop the abuses of land ownership and to remove all attachments to the land that people own, that they can live in peace and do as they wish as long as they're not harming people. We ask that gay quote-unquote marriage be banned. We ask for a reversal of feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. We ask that men and women come to understand that raising traditional Catholic families is the highest ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. And in so doing, remove all pornography and the OnlyFans platform, that they be stopped immediately and forever, and that the Jewish faith come to realize that their involvement in or supporting or ignoring the Jewish owners of pornography be stopped. We pray to shut down CERN, close all gateways and portals, and cease all harmful radiation in the air and radio waves and in our home. All this we ask in accordance with God's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi efferimus, vero qui tibi offerunt hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum prospe salutis et in calamitatis suae, tibi credunt vota sua aeterna Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et mamonem venerantes in primis gloriose semper Deum Maternam Nostrae, et de Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancto Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis precibusque, concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae bonorum et exilio per innum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabile in quae facere dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens. Consecravit frege didique luminis sui dicens, accipite et mandacate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonias accipiens et hunc precladam calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecrave dedique luminis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, et quod est cum ficeditis in me mono facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustem Christum filium tuum Deum nostre, tam beata passionis nec non et ben feliz resurrectionis, sed et in celos, gloriose ascensionis offerimus, preclare maiestati dudi tuis donis actatis, supraque propitio axare novultur specieri digneris. Supplices teragamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iubi hec preferibim manus tuum, ut quod ex acataris, participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sumsenimus omni benedictione celesti, et gratia Dei per amor per indum Christum Deum nostre. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Joseph Hunt, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum crescentibum, locum refugieri lucis et pacis, ut ondo geste proclamor per indum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, benedictis et prestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matron omnipotente in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronam nostra, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea Matronam nostri, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quesumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis presentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Dea Matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitiis pacem in divus nostris. Ut opi misericordiae Tue eduiti de peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per indum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivet et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam, pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te, ecum ex Deo consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, quo operante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacrosanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in hadare mandatis, et atinum quam separari permittas, qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et renam aeternam, perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego in inu sum represimo, non mihi proveniet in idicium condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi atutamente medisse corporis et ad medellam percipiendam, qui vivis et renas cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. In panem celestum accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sunt dignius, uditus ut etum meus, in tanto verbis habiternam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, uditus ut etum meus, in tanto verbis habiternam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, uditus ut etum meus, in tanto verbis habiternam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum, custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus queritur mihi, calicem saetaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis salvosero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod ore subsumus Deum Iesum Christum punimente capiamus et immunere temperae fiat nobis remedium sempiternam. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumse sanguis competa vera fisceribus meis apresta, ut in me non remeniat scelera macula quem purat sancta reficiona sacramenta, Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O God, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, ite mises, Deum gratia. Gratia tibi, Sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, presa ut sacrificium cor oculis, tue maestatis in nus opturi tibi siet attractabrem et omnibus, pro quibus irut optulis siti miserante perpetuabile, per Christum Deum nostrum. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostre et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. O God, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of God Jesus Christ, who was, is, and ever shall be, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of God, Our Lady, who was, is, and ever shall be, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum, Matronam nostre, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gratias. And going through the comments, I found some interesting ones. And, you know, there was a Protestant who does not understand the Catholic faith, but thinks they do. And there was a, Bob, who's been at us and at our site for quite some time, very upset that I talk about parasites and the demonic relation. And it's ironic that, that's the time, and during a moon cycle is when they make these comments, which just cracks me up. And also, but there was one from South Africa, and it's so good to see a lady there who's seeing the goodness in what we're doing. So now we have an extreme southern person that I just like to see that they're coming from all over the entire world. Let's do it that way. Since I'm a flurfer. In any case, welcome, and take your time, go to the website, and enjoy the new information that's there that really is eye-opening. And also on the website, there was a couple of people who have joined and are younger and are thankful for having their eyes cleared a little bit. All right. Thank you so much also for your prayers for my son. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a great day.